Question number 2. So question number 2 wants us to graph the linear function below on the coordinate grid. So that's this grid right here. Then identify the domain and range of the function. Alright? So when you're identifying domain, you need to know what domain is. So your domain are your x values. Okay? So when you're looking at those x values, we need to look from left to right. Okay? So your range are your y values. Okay? But for range, you look from down to up. Okay? And I know that that sounds weird, but that's how you guys would do it. So again, domain, you look from left to right because it's x values. Range, you look from down to up. That's because it's y values. Alright? So in this case, we need to draw the function or graph the function y equal 5. So y equal 5 means that you have a line on the y-axis. So this is your y-axis. This is your x-axis. Y equal 5 will be right here. So you would have a horizontal line. So horizontal is from left to right at y equal 5. Okay? So again, this would be like y equal 4, y equal 3, y equal 2. If you were supposed to go vertically, that would be x equal. Okay? So this would be like x equal 2, x equal 3, y equal is horizontal. Alright? So we need to identify the domain and range for this line. So when we identify the domain, we need to look from left to right. Because this line we're assuming is going on and on forever to the left side, it's going from negative infinity. If it's going on and on to the right side, it will be going more and more positive. Because if you move more to the right, you get more positive. But if we're going on and on forever, you will be going to positive infinity. Alright? So the domain for this will be from negative infinity less than, because negative infinity is smaller than positive, so you write a less than sign, of x, which is less than positive infinity. Because again, it has to be in between these areas. So this would be the drop down you would select. Okay? So now we're going to identify the range. So for range, you need to look from down to the top or from down upwards. So I need to look from down upwards. However, this line is neither going up nor going down. It's staying exactly right here. It's staying exactly when y is 5. Right? So in this case, because it's that exact straight line, all we could say is that y is equal to 5. Okay? If you had seen something that looks a little different, for example, you saw a line that looks like this. Okay? And it stops here. So let's say it stops here, or an arrow here, and it stops here. What you could state for something like this, if I wanted to find the domain would be from left to right. So we look from left. Because it's a starting down here, this is like a starting point. So say this is at like negative 5. I will be starting at negative 5 less than x, which is less than. So if we follow this line going to the right, because it has an arrow, it's going on and on forever. So this would be going to positive infinity. Okay? And if I wanted to identify the range, I look from down to up. So the area that is will be starting downwards would be right here. Say that this is like negative 6. Okay? I'm looking from down to up. So I'm looking from here to up here. So I will be looking from negative 6, because that's where it would start, because it's like a starting point. Less than, your range is your y. Less than, so in this case, because you have an arrow, it is technically going to go up on and on and on and on forever. So it's going up all the way to infinity. Okay? So that's the explanation for domain and range.